I'm Sasha Bermann from VaasaETT, the global energy think tank, joined here in the studio by Marko Svetina from cyberGRID. Welcome, Marko. Happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
We are here to talk about smart grids. So, Marko, from the point of view of cyberGRID, what is your take on smart grids?
Okay, so that's a big question. I actually think that, again, the word of smart grids has been a little bit abused, especially by many parties getting into the area because it's kind of a hype word. So I think the smart grids, from my point of view, are basically empowering the customers to basically participate actively in the energy value chain, like so-called prosumers. And of course, all the tools that are needed to do that. So this is on one side, and of course, if we look at the generation side, we have also quite a large area of different resources, like renewables, different kind of renewables with different characteristics, and how to match all of that with the customer needs. That's what I see is the core of smart grids. Of course, you have the metering that goes along, you have the data, big data, data mining, and all of that.
Well, you mentioned prosumers, but prosumers is a pretty new concept that's maybe not so clear and concrete yet. So could you just briefly maybe define what is prosumers actually? Right.
So I think the easiest way to explain that is before basically the supply side was always following the demand. So, and of course this is becoming more and more of a challenge with the intermittent renewables. So the prosumer actually is the entity who now participates actively in the energy value chain by changing his habits, his daily habits, either being an let's say a household or a, commercial industrial entity. So basically he will or it will make adaptations to its daily consumption pattern or generate it if he has a generation capability, generation pattern according to the needs of the energy value chain, the whole energy value chain, and trying to extract the value out of that.
And you in cyberGRID, how do you work with smart grids?
Right. So at cyberGRID, what we do is we empower utilities to basically to work with customers, to offer them new products, new services. So basically our main product is a virtual power plant. So we enable the sales side of the utilities to basically become an aggregator.
Okay. And when working on these smart grid projects, there is obviously some cross-border issues arising which you need to work around on and find solutions to. And what is your take on that whole cross-border aspect of smart grids?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the thing is that in Europe, basically we're looking at a very fragmented market. This is one of the reasons, I guess, the so-called smart grids, again, are probably taking off a bit slower than maybe in some other parts of the world. I think this fragmentation actually, basically is contributing quite a lot to this bit of a standstill. So we're actually working on a few projects how to counter that or how to solve this issue. So there is a European Union funded project, so FP7 project called TBatch, which basically the consortium consists of a couple of TSOs, DSOs, retailers, ESCOs, and some technology suppliers. And the main purpose is to create a model for the pan-European balancing market. So this means that different entities offering balancing services could come from different countries and bid also in another country. with another addition that also virtual power plants or demand response based capacity could also participate at the same markets. So it's quite a challenging task again. So one thing is to basically to make sure that there is a unified system between different countries. As we know, there are different dispatching systems in almost each European country. So each European country has a certain set of rules. So this is challenge one, and again challenge two, how to incorporate even renewables or distributed resources or demand response capacity to also be able to access these markets.
Yeah, sounds like a very complex project where you need to involve a lot of different entities from the energy industry. So how are each the different parts, DSOs, TSOs and so on actually contributing, and how are the roles?
Yeah. Yes, this is what I would agree with you. So it's quite a tall order. So it's the project itself. We're actually quite lucky that the consortium is very strong. So again, we're really glad to have two TSOs that basically bring their view and their requirements, especially on the balancing services needs. So then we have also a DSO which kind of shows or represents the viewpoint of the DSO. So the mid-voltage, the low-voltage networks, and the ability of the DSOs to contribute to the balancing services. And then again, we have the retailer point of view, because the retailers are also, they have their own basically agenda, but and again, a number of technology companies, and I forgot to mention a market operator. So I'm actually really looking forward to the results of this project. We've had some very good feedback from a number of TSOs, basically looking at the same area. Because overall what we want to do is obviously reduce the cost of balancing services throughout Europe. There is no need that each country should have a very specific set of rules that would basically prevent let's say balance service providers from entering bids from one to another country or to be able to exchange this. So I think the case in Germany showed us in the previous years that the unification of a balancing system basically can reduce costs significantly.
Okay, so it seems realistic in your view that this project can actually, at the end of the day, lead the way to how to bring down the costs.
I'm sure it will. So again, I'm not sure if this project is the only really the trigger to do that. But for sure, we will need to look, if we want to look at as a European Union, we need to look at the common market at some point, or at least common regions, at least as a first step to get to the common market. So yes, I really do believe this will happen. Is it a very short-term goal? No, probably not. But we should basically be looking, again, the final goal should be that we enable all the prosumers to participate in the balancing market or to contribute their flexible capacity, either be it from generation or consumption, to basically balancing markets or to the overall energy value chain optimization.
Okay, so it might not be the trigger, but it's a good first step, and it's a good contribution to get there in the end. How many years away from now do you think it will take before you are really there then?
So what we will have, so the project actually is taking on for 3 years. So it's going on for 3 years. So we started last year, I think, end of the year. So it's 2 years to come. So and again, so the project itself will also bring a demo. So it's already or a pilot. So there is already a pilot between Italy, Austria, and Slovenia, which will be in place set to 2 years from now. And the hopes of that pilot are pretty high. So for that pilot are pretty high, especially because we're going to also have households and commercial and industrial entities participating in balancing markets of all of those 3 countries. So I'm sure this is probably one of the important steps to get to that, let's say, common European or at least common regional balancing market.
Sounds promising. And to get more information about this project, I understand that there is actually a project website, just www.ebadgefp7.com, where more information can be found. Thank you, Marko Svetina, for being here today for this discussion.
Okay, thanks for having us.